It's warm in here. Dark, obviously, but warm. You've got everything you need right at the surface of your skin. No mouth, no stomach, no digestive system whatsoever. You just absorb. Nutrients seeping through your body wall like you're a very long, very flat sponge. You're a tapeworm, specifically Taenia saginata, the beef tapeworm. And right now you are an egg. A tiny, tough-shelled egg packed into a proglottid segment that just detached from the back end of your parent and made its way out of a human intestine. It is, frankly, disgusting out here. You're in soil. The plan now is simple. You just need a cow to eat you. That takes about 3 weeks. Then suddenly the shell around you cracks open and you are free. You are also microscopic and floating in the gut of a very large bovine, which is less glamorous than it sounds. You've got 6 tiny hooks on your head. 6. That's your entire toolkit right now. You use them to claw through the intestinal wall, which sounds violent, but honestly, you are a fraction of a millimeter across, so it's less of a breach and more of a very rude squeeze. You hit the bloodstream. This is the part where you travel. You've got no control over where you're going, obviously. You're just going wherever the blood goes. But that's fine because the destination is muscle tissue, and there's plenty of that. You find a spot in the cow's leg, or shoulder, or tongue. You build a cyst around yourself, fill it with fluid, and fold your head inward like you're packing for a very long trip. This is called a cysticercosis. You are 8 millimeters across. You wait, could be months, could be years. You've got nowhere to be. Then one day, everything moves very fast. Heat, acid. You're in a stomach. Someone has eaten this cow and they did not cook it thoroughly enough, which is great news for you. You unfold. Your head, which has 4 suckers on it, latches onto the lining of the small intestine and you are now home. This is your final destination, your definitive host, a human gut. You start growing segments from the neck down. Each segment is a proglottid, each one hermaphroditic, each one containing a full male and a full female reproductive system. You begin producing eggs almost immediately. Give it about 3 months and you're releasing gravid proglottids packed with thousands of eggs, passing out with the feces, dropping into soil, waiting to be eaten by another cow. The cycle continues. Simple, efficient, almost elegant if you ignore what it's doing to the person whose intestine you're currently living in. Which, to be fair, might not be much at first. Taenia saginata is notoriously quiet. Your host might not know you exist for months. Then maybe some abdominal cramping, some unexplained weight loss. Occasionally they'll notice a proglottid in the toilet, and that tends to get their attention. You are still growing. A beef tapeworm at full size reaches around 10 meters. That is 30 feet of tapeworm coiled inside one person's intestines. And you can stay there for up to 30 years if things go well. Things are going well, but here's the situation. You need more hosts. Not for yourself, you're fine. You've got everything you need, but your eggs need cows, and your larvae need humans, and the whole system only keeps working if those 2 things keep happening. So you keep shedding proglottids. Thousands of eggs per segment, hundreds of segments per year. The math is honestly staggering. Most of them go nowhere. Most of them die in soil that no cow ever grazes. Most of the ones that do reach a cow never make it to a human, but some do. That's enough. You've been doing this for millions of years, and the numbers work out. Now, if you were a pork tapeworm, things would be considerably more complicated and also more dangerous. Taenia solium uses pigs as its intermediate host instead of cows. Same basic system, pig eats eggs in contaminated soil, larvae form cysts in pig muscle, human eats undercooked pork, adult tapeworm attaches in the gut. Standard enough. But there is a secondary problem. If a human accidentally swallows your eggs instead of your larvae, meaning they eat something contaminated with feces rather than contaminated meat, the eggs hatch in their gut. The oncospheres try to do what they'd normally do in a pig, and they start burrowing. They end up in muscle, in eyes, in the brain. This is called neurocysticercosis, and it causes seizures and blindness and severe neurological damage. Much cleaner arrangement all around. The fish tapeworm takes a different approach entirely. Diphyllobothrium latum requires 2 intermediate hosts before it ever reaches a human. First, a tiny crustacean called a copepod swallows the eggs from freshwater. Then a fish eats that copepod. The larvae migrate out into the fish's flesh and sit there waiting. Then a human eats the raw or undercooked fish and the cycle completes. 3 hosts. That's a lot of faith to put in a food chain, and yet it works. Your host starts forgetting things. Probably not connecting it to the 10-meter flatworm in their gut, but here you are. Then there's Hymenolepis nana, the dwarf tapeworm, which threw out the rulebook completely. No intermediate host required. You swallow the eggs, they hatch. They form cysts in the intestinal wall itself. They release juvenile worms after about 4 or 5 days, and those worms attach and mature in under 2 weeks. The whole cycle runs inside one person. You can reinfect yourself continuously without ever leaving your own home. It's the most self-contained tapeworm setup in existence. It's also the most common human tapeworm globally, affecting somewhere between 50 and 75 million people, mostly children. The dwarf part refers to the size, only about 40 millimeters, but the infection can be heavy. The symptoms hit harder in children: stomach pain, diarrhea, irritability, fatigue, learning difficulties from the constant nutrient drain. Small worm, outsized impact. Back to you though. You're still attached to that intestinal wall. You've been here for 2 years now. You are approximately 4 meters long and adding a new proglottid roughly every day. Your eggs are out in the world doing their thing. Some cow somewhere has your larva encysted in its shoulder muscle right now. You don't know this. You have no brain. You have a head with suckers and a very long ribbon of reproductive segments, and a surface that absorbs nutrients, and that is genuinely it. No nervous system worth mentioning. No eyes, no sensory organs beyond what you need to grip and grow. And somehow, this is enough. Has been enough since before mammals existed. You are one of the most successful parasitic architectures on the planet, and you achieved it by getting rid of almost everything and just becoming a very long, very patient stomach with hooks. Your host takes a pill eventually. That's usually how this ends. Praziquantel, a single dose, causes your muscles to spasm and your suckers to release their grip. You detach. You pass. The whole 10 meters of you, over the course of a few days. It's an undignified exit for something that spent 3 decades building such an efficient operation. But the eggs you shed over those years are already out there, already in soil, already in a cow somewhere, already waiting to unfold and start again.